So, Sinners. Bro, this movie been going absolutely stupid. Critics and audience reviews are through the roof. It's doing great at the box office. And it's an original movie. This type of reception for an original movie is almost unheard of.
It's becoming a cultural phenomenon. It's breaking into the overall discussion. You just don't see holds like this. This is very uncommon. This is going to be, even if it was just this weekend, this is one of those greatest showman situations that I call here on the show, where you're tracking a movie that defies all expectations, that defies all trends and things that you would expect from other movies. And it indicates that what we have here is something very special.
I could barely get a ticket for a showing this past weekend. Every single theater was damn near sold out. And it wasn't just for one day. Screenings were sold out until at least the next week. It was a miracle I even got a ticket. I'm talking about the Regal, the NCG, the AMC,
OKC, KFC, UFC, Lakers in 5.
I didn't know it was this hype. I had an easier time getting a ticket for Endgame. No bull. Enough about me not getting a ticket. You want to know, Mitch, is it hot or is it not? Well, let's talk about it. I'm Dick Cheney, and you watching Hot or Not, only on Michael B. Jordan. My God. This very well may be his best performance. You know, I always saw Michael B as a popcorn actor, somebody who could deliver a solid performance in a blockbuster, but not someone I would look to as a true master of their craft, like a Daniel Day-Lewis, Viola Davis, or Denzel. But after this performance, it's time to start putting him in some conversations, not gonna lie. Every time he's on screen, either a smoke or stack, he commands your attention. I know this term is getting overused, but bro has aura. Like aura to the point where anytime the central conflict is wrapping up, I'm like, bro, somebody call smoke. He know what to do, even though he really don't. It seemed like he know what to do. He had that big brother / big cousin kind of vibe. And speaking of people that know what to do, shout out Annie. She had the answer to anything and everything that could have happened. She'd be like, yep, that's a classic case of and we need X, X, and X, and we should be cool. She carried those tense scenes, and I really liked her character. Shout out the actress that plays her too, Wunmi Masako. She did a really good job. I felt comfortable anytime she was on the screen, which is kind of funny because Smoke and Annie are in a relationship, and they both make me feel the same way. A true power couple if I ever seen one. Props to the writers. And while we on writing, let's take a second to talk about the movie's villain. Remick is one of the best written villains I've seen in a long time. He's like a bad guy, but he's not evil. There's a scene when one of the twins asks Remick if he's a clan member, and honest to God, bro looks so appalled, like, why would you even ask me that? Like, I might be an assimilated blood-sucking vampire, but racism?
Who had been saying that? Who said that?
Oh no, that's crossing the line, bro. I can't even do that. I don't even know why you would try me like that, bro. Remick knows what it's like to be oppressed and assimilated into something he wants no part of due to him being Irish, but he can't see he's doing the same thing to these black folks in his juke joint. And that duality is what makes him a compelling villain. Like, yeah, I see where you coming from, but also kinda maybe I don't want to give away my identity as a person and as a people to basically be in a cult. You get me? Another thing I wanted to touch on was how good the movie is at crafting tension. Specifically, this one scene where Mary gets turned and she comes back into the juke joint talking to Stack and takes him into that room, and the camera hovers back and forth between the room and the rest of the party, where our main characters are walking back and forth between the two settings. As you're seeing this, you really start clutching your pearls because you know something bad is about to happen. Still, you can't help but watch. Now that's cinema. The scene with Cornbread and Smoke is also really good at crafting tension because we know that Cornbread is gone, but our characters aren't 100% sure. And Cornbread is trying to convince them, and it creates just this tight tension, especially because of how Cornbread is acting totally normal. It's just too many memorable scenes in this movie, and we'd be here all day if I mention all of them. But what I do want to mention are the musical numbers here. They were really well performed and really well shot, especially Sammy's number in the juke joint, where it exemplifies not only the theme of the movie on how culturally significant music is and how it unites all of us, but also how it attracts all walks of life, which is why Remick is drawn to the juke joint in the first place. The music here doesn't come off as forced, and I didn't roll my eyes when they started singing, as I would do with other musical numbers in other films. They typically feel forced and out of place. In Sinners, it feels very pivotal to the plot and the message it's trying to convey. The way I see it, if you can actually get me to go along with a musical number in your film and not be annoyed, you deserve a hot just off the strength of that. The only nitpick I have is that the setup takes a little long. It's one of the slower parts of the movie, and I completely understand why it is this way. The calm has to come before the storm, and we need to slow the pace to introduce these characters so you'll care about them later on in the movie. I get it, but I was still kind of bored waiting for it to ramp up. But I guess that's a me problem and not a problem of the movie. So to wrap it up, Sinners is indeed hot. And a side note, I know a lot of people won't see this movie because it's a quote-unquote horror movie and they can't do scary, but try to put that fear to the side. This is a very thematically rich movie, and you'll be missing out on not only a great experience at the movie, but also a very prominent message of ownership, oppression, and fighting through adversity and coming out the other side successful. Anyway, make sure y'all like, sub, and comment. It helps the channel, and by proxy, it helps me get more videos to y'all. Let's see if we can do, say, 150 subs by next week, and maybe even comment on what you want to see next. I'm down to talk about anything. All right, it's been real. Bye.
And they be turned off. You know I still stuff. You know I'm on that. She get burned off. I'm that young nigga. I'm just turned off.